Hello, and welcome to Queer Abbey, a weekly chat show that is performed, recorded, and produced by yours truly. Welcome to the 20th episode of Queer Abbey. 20 weeks deep, y'all. That's kind of a lot of episodes. 20 weeks? That is like, we're approaching half of a year, aren't we? I've been doing this for a couple months now. So let's check in. How is everybody doing? How are you? Good, okay. Still stinky? All right, maybe you should take a shower. I am doing good. I have been taking my medication, drinking Dr. Pepper, seeing my family doctor. Oh, sorry, that's unhinged. But, no, I'm 2 weeks into school. I just finished my second week of the term, and I'm doing great. So, yeah, I'm not lying in that regard. I've been really staying on top of my schoolwork, and something I tend to be good about. I've really learned that skill set in 4 years of my college education, how to just get things done ahead of time and then be less stressed. It sounds so simple in theory, but it's very difficult to motivate yourself to do things before you actually need to in practice, right? Because it's like, why would you? And really, that's because we're animals, you know? The threat of immediate danger is the most motivating thing that we can go through. So I think it applies to a lot of different things in life, but that's one of them. It's like it kind of encourages procrastination because, like, if we have the time to rest and to laze around, to chill, like, bitch, yeah, why not? But sometimes we have to trick ourselves into doing things in the society we live in because there's so much made up structure, so many rules that we put on ourselves. Gotta go to work, gotta pay the rent, you know. I did have a doctor's appointment earlier today. That was lit and fun. I am proud of myself for bravely scheduling medical appointments like months in advance without knowing what my school schedule would be, and then somehow like making it work. Because when you have the state insurance, you don't get so much say in when your medical appointments are. That's one of the harder things about being poor, I guess, is healthcare providers are booked out as hell because they're affordable, right? Which is, at the end of the day, that's a good thing that there's medical care even available to me because I live in Oregon. But yeah, I have to wait sometimes a month or two to see a provider for specialized care. And then my primary care provider suggested that we meet like once every 6 months, which is perfectly fine for like regular checkups. But I can't basically just like make an appointment for next week if I want to, which is a little troubling sometimes. Oh well, could be worse. I'm very happy that I get to do choir again. I opted to do the like entry-level university choir, and it's been such a blast so far. So most of the music ensembles at PSU have a little bit of like a miserable undertone to them. I won't even lie. The jazz ensemble, the chamber choir, the Rose Choir. Rose Choir was pretty fun. The like intermediate level auditioned choir. But this one is fun. It's fun, bitch, because we have these student teachers that are kind of like nervous to be there, but they're really committed to doing a good job, and they're being like overseen by this very amazing educator. I'm not gonna like name drop everybody, but they're really, really amazing. Anybody who goes to PSU would probably know who I'm talking about just because I said they're amazing. They're an award-nominated educator, and so this person comes in and will conduct us and work with us for like half of the time, and then the student conductors will take over. And like I said, it's an entry-level choir, so there's people of all skill levels. There's a bunch of freshmen and then a bunch of older people. I think there's a bunch of like non-degree seeking people, so they're just there to like take individual classes as they will. And that makes for the most productive and relaxed environment, but at the same time, everybody's really committed to coming and learning this music. So yeah, we're 2 weeks in and I've just been having a really good time with that. I look forward to learning all of the music and working with everybody more. Singing really can be fun, and when it's fun, it's really, really fun for me. So I love those moments when I get to hold in my hands that joy of making music with other people, and it doesn't feel like it's in exchange for something or like at this cost of feeling super uncomfortable, you know? I've always envied people who like sing in church, because I've always kind of thought of it like if you're in church and you're singing and you're using it as like a tool for worship, there's kind of a reason for you to sing that's not just within you or selfish. It's like almost a tool to serve God in a way. And I know that that's the way that a lot of gospel singers approach singing. Like it's like a call up to heaven more so. And it takes the personal burden of shame away from it, that like sort of selfish motivation to be really good at it. It's like, okay, well, no, I want to be good at it because I'm showing my adoration for God or something like that. But I've never really been able to find that until more recently in my life. Music really is something that we can share with other people, and that's so beautiful. I sound very hippy-dippy in this moment, but yeah, that's how choir makes me feel. Ooh. I could go on yet another rant about the physics of sound and how that's really cool too. Did you know that when you speak, and especially when you sing, the barometric pressure in the entire room changes? Isn't that cool? Because there's these pockets of high pressure and low pressure that exist in every single closed space. Sound waves behave differently depending on where they're being produced and what's producing them and their frequency and all of these factors. And so they sometimes bounce around within closed surfaces, and then these sound waves hit each other and interfere with each other. And basically all sound is just this change in pressure in the air molecules. So I'm getting a little chalkboard moment right now, but like when you produce sound waves by talking or singing, you are literally changing the pressure in the entire space that you're in to produce that sound wave, and then it continues to reverberate and affect all of these other pockets of pressure in the room. And that's basically the study of acoustics, is studying this behavior. The acoustics class that I'm in right now is really enlightening. It's difficult, but learning about how this thing that I'm passionate about in an artistic capacity translates into physics is so amazing. It's very cool. I don't know if that's technically like pedagogy, because it's not like how you learn audio engineering, but it's like the pedagogy of sound itself. Okay, I'm gonna get off my little high horse now. I'm sounding a little too highbrow for this podcast. we don't do that here. Yay, I'm excited to be back with some advice. We had a little interview last week, which I'm hoping to get some more interviews done soon because everybody seems to really enjoy those. For now, let's move on to our advice segment. Yay! Welcome to the advice segment for this episode. Thank you to everybody who has been submitting prompts. I did hang up some flyers around campus and a few just around the way, and I was pleased to see an influx of responses. So thank you, everybody. As well as music spotlights. Being back in school has given me access to more creative people, which is really awesome. But I'm always accepting more applications for music spotlights, and as always, you're welcome to submit to the anonymous inbox with the link that's in the description of this episode. Yay! Moving on. The first prompt for this week is as follows. Queer Abbey. My boyfriend wants me to talk to his dick. Today and other days, my boyfriend has requested I talk to his dick. Tell it what I want it to do. He's also requested I talk to him more during sex in general. What the fuck do I say? I love the sex, but I feel awkward. Talking, give me some starter things to say. Oh, sorry, there was weird punctuation there. I feel awkward talking. Give me some starter things to say. Well, start with a hello, a polite, warm but brief greeting. You know, sex can look like so many different things. It's really to the individual, right? It's different strokes for different folks. And if your boyfriend is really into verbal stimulation, then so be it. I would say you should feel empowered to say no at all times. So if talking to your boyfriend's dick makes you uncomfortable for some reason, then don't do it. And you should tell your boyfriend, no, honey, I don't like that. It makes me feel weird. Your dick doesn't talk back to me. So like, what am I doing down there? But there's nothing inherently weird about it because we all, like I said, have our individual strokes. People have foot fetishes. They like small penis humiliation. There's people with vor kinks where they like imagine getting swallowed whole by giant people. There's people who, I don't know. They find stimulation in all a myriad different ways. So your boyfriend likes it when you talk to his dick, and if you wanted some starter things to say, I imagine it's probably still within the realm of normalcy, right? Like maybe you tell his dick that like it's doing a good job or something. I don't know. Or comment on like how it's like a nice dick or something, how it looks. Maybe tell it how you're feeling. Tell the dick how you're feeling. Show me on the dick where you're feeling these things. I don't know, something like that. You could maybe have fun with it. Maybe you can be a dick therapist. Or you could just be, like quick with it. Just say hello and move quick one and done. I hope that you have fun exploring this, though, because it sounds like you said the sex is great. You probably care about this person because you're submitting this prompt. And so I think that you'd probably be willing to make this accommodation. Yeah, why not? Do a little cosplay, get on your glasses, get your notepad, and be a dick therapist for the night and see if it makes your boyfriend happy. Woo! Moving on to the next prompt. This one says, Queer Abbey. How do you balance personal hobbies with spending time in a relationship? I've recently picked up a new hobby that I love, but I'm struggling to balance it with spending quality time with my partner. I want to make sure I'm giving enough attention to both, but sometimes I feel like I'm neglecting one for the other. Does anyone have any advice on how to manage this without feeling guilty or overwhelmed? Well, you came to the right place, bub. If you are feeling pulled in several directions, it's important to evaluate how much time you're spending doing, blank, blank, blank. If you're in a relationship that is absorbing a lot of your time and you don't want to be spending that much time just with this person or doing activities together, you have to be honest with yourself about that, because clearly there's some sense of conflict, or maybe it's about integrating these two things together. Because if you really care about this person and you want to continue to spend all of this time together, then finding a way for them to accommodate this hobby as well could be another solution. So it sounds like either boring out more room for your personal hobbies in exchange for time with your partner, or integrating this hobby into the time that you spend with your partner. Either way, because you never want to sacrifice the things that make you you. That's so important. Even if your hobbies are not, or like your partner's like averse to your personal hobbies. I know that like I've not always enjoyed every single thing that all of my romantic partners like, but when you have love for somebody, sometimes you find a way to like things or to spend time around them. And so I hope that that's the solution for you. Or maybe it's time for you to seek out a little bit more independence of your own. I think either one of those things is fine. Let me ask my doctor really quick for their consultation. Dr. Pepper. And the final prompt for this evening is as follows. How do you safely sleep around? Ooh. Judge me all you want, but I came out of a 15-year relationship. Sexless last 4 years before it ended. I want to get out there and do the deed, but how do you do it safely? I wouldn't go to their house or invite them to mine. Is hotel only an option? Okay, well, I just had a seizure reading that. I can tell that a man wrote this. Sorry, but the word sexless, I think, only ever leaves the lips of straight men. Because it's like, okay, like, go to have sex, dude. Like, I think sometimes people have such a narrow idea of how sex is supposed to happen, right? Like the talking to the dick. That's sex. You know what I mean? We get to define the boundaries of what that is. So without ridiculing you, I don't mean to do that whatsoever. I just was kind of musing at the grammar and the word choices here. How do you safely sleep around? You get tested. That's the first thing that you should do. I think that this is important information for everybody. If you were like me and you were within the low to medium low income bracket and you have state insurance, you can very likely go to your primary care provider. You've probably been assigned a primary care provider, like by the insurance people. So in Oregon, they've got the Oregon Health Plan. And they tell you, like, okay, this is your, like, primary care provider, or I think you're able to pick between a few locations. But that's the place that you can go, and you give them your insurance, and you can get tested for free. It shouldn't cost anything. And you can always ask those questions with your healthcare providers, like, okay, is this going to incur a cost? Is this covered by my insurance? And they're always going to be happy to help you because that's what they're there to do. So anyhow, I can obtain a round of testing that way. And another really important thing that you should advocate for yourself about in terms of getting tested is the type of sex that you're having and being honest with that with your healthcare providers. I think a lot of men do like urine sample tests, but they're like getting fucked up the ass and they don't get a anal swab. Sorry, that was kind of a lot of vulgar language. But basically, like, if you're getting fucked in the ass, you need to get an STI panel, like where they swab your anal mucus, as well as a urine test, as well as a throat swab if you're sucking dick too. I think that's something that we miss a lot in like sex ed because we don't consider gay people or just sexual minorities when we're talking about sex, and we are just so puritanical about it. But yeah, basically, if you suck dick, you should get a test in your throat. You should get a test in your ass. You should be thorough about these things. Using condoms is a little bit out of style right now, unfortunately, but you should fucking use condoms too, because there's preventative measures that you can take for diseases like HIV, but using condoms is the most surefire way that you can prevent unwanted pregnancies and unwanted STI infections. I hope that all of these infections are unwanted, but like, it's reality. These things exist, you know, so trying to mitigate them is really important. Getting tested is the way that you can stay informed about your status and what your health is like. And then making informed and smart decisions about the kind of sex you're having is important too. That doesn't mean that you need to have missionary sex with only women. What that means is that you should do things that feel good for you and that feel safe and constructive in your body, you know? And that could be getting railed up the ass by several men at a time. It just means that you should be safe about these things and know how it does for you. PrEP. This is the last thing that I'm going to get into in regards to sexual safety for this episode. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis prophylaxis means it's like a drug that you can take, like a vaccine before you get it, almost. So basically, like, you are inoculated to HIV. It's like a 99% chance that when you're on PrEP, you can't be infected with HIV even if you're exposed to it. There is also sort of like Plan B version of this, which is called DoxyPep. That's another thing that they're able to give you if you have unsafe sex and you think that you may have contracted HIV. You can go take this like for 24 hours after the encounter, and it should prevent you from contracting it. So yay for modern medicine, yay for the research of HIV and other STI prevention and treatment. It fucking rocks. That's why places like Planned Parenthood are important, and organizations like, oh gosh, there's one in Boise that I was able to access testing all the time. They were really kind. Oh gosh, I forget what it's called. But anyway, lots of great people doing that work out there. You should be able to access it for free or at a very low cost. You may have to go through your healthcare provider. You usually can't just walk in and get free testing at like an urgent care, but it never hurts to ask. So yay. Go ahead after that. You can download one of those stupid apps, get Tinder or whatever, and then go pork it out. Go pork it. All right, that's all of my advice for this evening. All right, that's just rocks right there. That's quite awesome. So, if you'd like to be on the advice segment, you could go ahead and submit using our phone number, if you'd like, 503-567-2053. Or you can submit to our email, which is queerabbey@gmail.com. QUERABBEY@gmail.com. Okay, I'll stop at that. queerabbey@gmail.com, our phone number, or obviously you can go to the episode description and obtain a link to our anonymous inbox. That's a really great way to submit your advice prompt. Alright, cool. It's totally anonymous and it rocks. So, let's get into this musical spotlight, everybody. I'm very excited to share with you an artist that I met at school recently. Their name is Elliot Lawrence on SoundCloud, and I was highly, highly, highly impressed with the quality of this demo reel that they have on SoundCloud. I was walking around posting posters up on the first day of class this term, and there was a little group of people who were talking about posting music, basically. And so I was brave, and I walked over and introduced myself, and this person was really, really like present and kind and was like, hey, I have music, you can put it on your podcast if you want. So the song that I chose is called As the Wind Blows. That rhymed. But they have a few other songs in this demo reel that they produced themselves in their bedroom. It sounds like they are playing everything and that they composed the song. So similar to myself, they're like a jack of all trades, which really impresses me. The kind of genre, it's what I call like California country. It's this folky, cool, really satisfying and easy kind of sound, and their vocals are a little twangy in a way, but also very relaxed and in that kind of indie pocket. Okay, I'm going to stop saying random words now. This is going to be As the Wind Blows by Elliot Lawrence from 514.
As the wind blows, carry me on your shoulders, 'cause it's getting hard to breathe. As the clock ticks, I ain't getting any younger, no idea what's in front of me. And I don't get lost in the seasons, 'cause they won't be here for long. As the sun shines, make the best of what you got. Don't pay any mind to what could go wrong. And I will carry on again. And I can see around the bend.
All right, y'all. I hope that you are as impressed as I am by the beauty of this song. I think that this person's voice sits so nicely within that mix. It's just really nice to listen to. They're also clearly very good at writing melodies. If you check out their other demos, there's a similar, I don't know, like lulling, very entrancing quality. The vocals are very even. There's not a lot of vibrato. It's very even in dynamics. Kind of bright and very clear. Yeah, really great singer, really great guitar player. And you should check out the rest of their music. As always, there's a link to their SoundCloud that's just right in the episode description above the link to submit an anonymous prompt. So go ahead and check them out. Yay! I am so happy that I made the decision to do this podcast, and especially the decision to include the music spotlights. At first, I thought that might be a little bit too miscellaneous to do both things, like in both an advice segment and a musical spotlight, but it actually is very balancing. It keeps me from getting tired of these because it's sort of a challenge for me to connect with other people and find these music spotlights and make sure I always have that material. It's a little easier now that people are more prone to submitting stuff, but yeah, I've had to discover a lot of stuff that's been so interesting to find and to curate. And then the advice is so silly. I never know what's going to be in that fucking inbox when I open it, and it always makes me laugh. So, anyway, thank you for listening. This is going to take us pretty much to the end of this episode. I hope that you have a good rest of your week. It's almost Halloween, so you better get to work on that fucking costume. And I will see you next week for another episode of Queer Abbey. Mwah.